Welcome to Two Girls, Big Cups, the podcast where we sip and spill on all things Tumblr talk and oh, so much more. Grab your big cup and join us for your favorite juicy chats you've been itching to have. Cheers!
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Two Girls, Big Cups podcast. I'm Kelly Burns from Burns Boutique. With me is Christina Smith from The Cup Smith. Be sure to like, subscribe, all the things. Little special episode today.
Yes, special
early release episode.
Yes, Love is Blind. That's if you see these cups come out, you know it is a Love is Blind episode.
Yes.
This is specifically a reunion special. We will give you all of our thoughts on the reunion special.
So if you don't watch as Love is Blind, see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
You definitely should be watching. It's
or at least
great,
watch the
cheap
next one.
entertainment, but yeah. We'll check you on the next one if you're not watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for the support. We'll see you next time. But if you're still here,
still like the episode though. Hit the thing anyways. And then we'll see you. We'll see you.
Yeah, right.
We have no shame.
Yeah. So the reunion special just aired. I don't know, like a day or two ago.
Yeah,
we watched it together.
Mm-hmm.
We recorded it. We'll insert a little clip of how we watched it. We thought like, oh well, we'll just record ourselves, see our reactions. We'll see if we have any, if we'll have good footage. Nah, it didn't work out well.
We were just very, very minimal commentary. I think because I think mostly because we were watching. Like we didn't want to like if we could pause, talk. I think that'd been different. But
yeah. And per usual, we had like technical difficulties. Got started way later than we thought we would.
Yeah.
So we didn't even have the opportunity to do that. Maybe next time we'll do that, but it just didn't work out how we thought it would. But we thought we would try, and so we're doing this instead. So, what did you think overall of the reunion? Did you like it? Did you dislike it?
I felt a little meh about it. I don't know. I felt like we've seen better reunions in the past. I think they need to stop wasting so much time on people that aren't a part of the season.
Yeah.
I think if they took that time slot and used it instead, that 20 minutes or so, to focus on other things, we'd get more, Right. I don't know. You could ask those hard pressing questions a bit more easily and, I don't know.
Right. I felt really the same way. I felt really underwhelmed by the reunion. I was like, that was it? Like, okay. This is only the second reunion I've ever seen. So, because this is only the second time I've watched the show. I don't know, like there was drama, but there wasn't like as much drama. I felt like really like last season. Like I felt like last season was more like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And like things happened, And so I didn't feel like that really happened on this episode. Like there was fighting, but like, I don't know. I felt very meh about it, just like you. It was underwhelming. I've seen a lot of discussions online about people are like, Nick and Vanessa, they need to replace them. And I agree.
Yeah.
I did not think they did that good of a job hosting. I thought they came with like corny dad jokes.
Oh my God, so many puns.
Yes. And like, it was like, okay, one or two, fine. But like 10, like, okay, enough already. And it was like the same joke over and over again with like wrapping it up. And it was like, okay, Vanessa, we get it.
Yeah.
And like, I don't feel like they like led the couples very well, like in their questioning.
And that right there, I think that right there, because I feel like, I'm like, are they getting lazy or like what's going on? Because I feel like reunions in the past, maybe they were supplied questions in the past. I don't know. But I feel like in previous reunions, they'd ask questions better. Like they'd push for things more. And it seemed like they weren't really leading the discussions very well. Yeah. Like they would just be like, okay, so there was this thing about the sleep study and the text messages and go. And it was just like, talk about it. Hey, talk about this.
Right.
And then they would talk about it. And it's like, no, like follow-up questions, like push for
Right.
things.
There
Get
was
the answers
no
we don't have
follow-up
answers to.
questions.
Yes.
Right.
I
No
agree.
follow-up questions, no asking like the hard questions, no pressing them on the like issues that like we all wanted to know the answers to. It was just like, okay, well, moving on. And it was like, that was it.
Right.
Like, that's how I felt pretty much throughout the whole episode. It was like, that was it.
Well, like there was one point where she cut off, I think it was Tim and Alex when they were kind of going back. They start fighting. She cuts them off to say, I think you guys should discuss this. And that was probably a time thing, right? It was probably because like, hey, this is going to go on for too long. We need to move on. You move on to people we don't care about.
Yeah.
They already had their time to shine. I don't need to see a clip again of Bliss and Zach and their wedding. I watched that season. I've already seen it. I don't need to watch that. Why don't you let Alex and Tim continue? Like, that's who we're here for, is for season 7. So like, give them more time to hash the stuff out for us to watch.
Right. And like,
but that's why they're on the time constraints, because like they're trying to fit all these things into an hour and a half. Take away the stuff that doesn't matter then. So or film longer, edited it down, because it's like this live reunion that it's all live. I mean, it's not live for us to view, but it's live in the moment for like how they record it or whatever. It's like, go longer then and take out the stuff that's boring.
Right.
And don't make it like this live thing or something.
Yeah. Do something. They got to change it up. Like,
they got to fix that.
So what they're doing is just, it did not work.
This whole season, what you just said
did not work.
Your casting abilities, you're catching the fights on camera when they happen. Like, they failed this season a lot. I feel like they missed big moments. They casted horribly. Like, who's background checking these people? They've been saying that for like the last couple seasons now.
They have.
And I feel like the casting is what's really failing, because in the beginning, like if you go back, like there were so many great couples. It was about the couples. It was about their connections and is love blind and the whole thing. And then in these last couple seasons, it's been like, with the way they've casted, it's been all drama, because they're fighting cheaters and they're fighting people that aren't there for the right reasons. And it's like, someone's failing for sure.
Right.
Someone's not doing their job right, I feel like.
Right. Which I'm sure it's very difficult once a show, gets out there and, gets publicity and stuff, those types of people are going to come out of the woodwork, and try and be on the show. But then you got to do your work harder.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something.
Yeah.
But, back to the Tim and Alex thing. The thing that bothered me too was that Vanessa was like, why don't you guys continue this conversation in private? And it's like, why are we here then?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, take away the bore. I don't need to know that Jessica got married. She sucked. I don't care. Couldn't even recognize her on the reunion. She didn't even look like herself. So I didn't even know who I was watching. Exactly. Yeah. Like, people that haven't watched all the other seasons, they don't even know.
Right.
It's like,
and is that the one
that crap? They didn't start doing that, I swear, until like maybe, was it last year or maybe the year before? That didn't used to be a thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, because there weren't as many past seasons, but still.
Was that the person too that married like just some random person, not a person on the show? And then they showed her wedding and stuff, and it was like, I don't care. She didn't marry somebody on the show. I have no idea who she is.
I don't remember a ton about her situation. I think it was like she was paired up with a guy that was like a bit younger than her. I just remember not liking her. I didn't like her. I didn't care for her.
And like, I think I read that like she was from like season 1 or something. Yeah. Like a long time ago, really long time ago. Like, I don't know who she is. I don't care about her. Congratulations.
Right.
I don't know who you are. Get off the screen. I want to hear about all these people that I know. And don't tell the current people they need to continue their conversation in private, because they already did that and we missed it, and we're all pissed that we missed it. And they practically even say like, I don't got anything to say, kind of thing. Like, and like they're like, yeah, that's a great idea, but it's not going to happen.
Right.
Because they said they hadn't talked for a year anyway, so of course they're not going to talk.
Right.
they said a whole lot of words and like really didn't say anything. I feel like
Right.
they talked a lot and didn't say a lot. Like,
I agree.
also, we found out too that they were when they were arguing that like production was like right outside the door.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought too was, in any other reality show, you see picture or not pictures, video of like production, and you can like they'll like show the door and you can see like what they're saying. Why didn't they do that?
Yep.
So we
I know. I'm
got
like, were they
some
not mic'd? Like, what?
we get some idea of this argument that they had,
Mm-hmm.
but we
Well,
didn't get any of
I
that.
think that's why she was trying to like calm him down, was because they didn't want producers to come in. Like, they didn't
Yeah,
want it aired.
yeah,
They didn't want it caught, which, like,
right.
understandable. Why would you?
I
But
understand it from their side, but if I'm the producer trying to make this show, I'm like, we're getting everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yep.
I
Do
don't
we
feel
want
like
to
I
go
learned.
couple by couple? Because we can
Yeah.
just kind of continue
Yep.
Tim and Alex, and then we'll
Yep.
and then move on.
Yeah, because that's what we've been doing all year.
Yeah.
Or seasons.
Here.
Yeah. We're talking about this for a year.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I had any crazy notes on them.
Yeah, because there really wasn't anything.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, well, we didn't get really any answers.
Other than like when she broke down her schedule for the day, I was like, yeah, that girl deserved a damn nap.
Yeah.
That nap was
I do
justified.
too.
I'm team nap.
And that's what we said the last time too, when
Mhm.
we saw their like breakup and stuff. We're like, yeah, we get it,
Yeah.
but you guys shouldn't have even got this far anyway. So
Right.
you should
Well,
have broken up long before this.
and I remember when Vanessa said something about him being checked out after Cabo, I was like, that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said, was that he looked checked out and was just trying. He was trying, but he was done. I think he was done since Cabo.
I do too. I think
I'll
so
die
too.
on that hill.
I think he was too. I think he was putting in the effort to try and get back to who he fell in love with in the pods, but it just was not going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
And it's not because of that fight. It's because they weren't ever going to work out.
No.
I mean, we saw that from the day they met.
Yeah.
Got that? No, give me shit. That's the last time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also feel like Tim was very strict. Like, he was like, this is how it's going to be. And this is, I felt like he had high expectations and he was very strict. And there are people like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how he is. And you could tell, like, that's not how she is, and does not respond to that well. And it's just like, they're not compatible.
Look at that apartment and was like, nope.
Yeah, you could tell they're just not compatible in so many ways. The writing was clear on the wall of that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to at least see them kind of, I mean, not that they settled anything, but more of to see Tim kind of say, like, I don't have any ill feelings towards her, because the last thing we saw was their breakup that made it look like he did not have good feelings for her, so
yeah.
That was like, to me, that and like finding out what that day was actually like for her were kind of the two main things that got cleared up for me. But because when she was explaining, like, they were from like 11 to 7, and she had this schedule from this to 3 a.m. I'm like, heck yeah, you need a nap. Yeah, that's a long ass day. I mean, that's
sorry. There's a fly. There's a fly in my craft room, and before we started recording, I tried to chase it out of here, and I couldn't get it out of here. So we do have a special guest that you might see flying around.
It's our third special podcast guest.
Yes.
The fly on the wall.
Yes. I tried to get him out. I couldn't get him out.
That's great.
So, sorry
about it was frustrating though for me, I guess, when he's trying to say she was out till 4 a.m. the night before, and she's like he clearly had his timeline mixed up, and she's trying to explain it, and he was like kind of jumping at her for it. Like, it's like, shush and listen to what she's saying. She's telling you you had the wrong day in your head.
Right.
She's talking about the day she met your family. You're talking about the day she met her family. Like, focus and listen, buddy. Like, because I got what she was saying.
Yep, I did too.
He was just confusing himself.
Yeah. And it was a year prior.
Right, it was a year ago.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, who next?
I mean, we can get the easy ones out of the way.
Yeah,
We
let's
don't
do
have
the
to
easy
say
ones.
Taylor and Garrett. That's easy. That's quick and easy. Yay, they're married. They're cute. I love them. Same
Yeah,
stuff. His
I
jacket was
love him too.
another story.
Yeah, I didn't care for his jacket. And then I saw a TikTok on his page where he like broke down the outfit. Because apparently he's now gotten into fashion because his wife is into fashion and he's like, that's always been something that I'm kind of into, and now that she's into it, I'm really into it. So like on his TikTok, he like broke his outfit down. And when he broke his outfit down on his TikTok, I didn't like it even more. I just his pants were like wide leg pants, and like
Oh
it just
gosh.
made him look bigger in a
Yeah.
not good way.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah, that
funny.
was my only notes too. I was like, yeah, I didn't really care for it. And like his Instagram pictures, like I like his new hair on his pictures, but in the reunion, I was like, I guess maybe
I
I
don't like his
don't
hair.
really like
I
your
don't think I like
hair.
his hair. I don't think I do.
I
I
don't
think he
like
looked better
it.
before.
I like
But him before is more of my type too.
yeah.
Like that's more of my type anyways.
I liked his hair in the pictures, but in like real life, like seeing him move around and talk and stuff with it, I'm like, no, I don't like it.
Yeah.
So that was funny to me that I completely changed my mind on that. But thought it was interesting that they don't live in San
Yeah.
Diego and that they're in Fredericksburg, and there's the fly. Because she really didn't care for Fredericksburg, and but it sounds like they're gonna move to DC, which sounds like a good compromise for them. Apparently, I don't know. We didn't really get to hear much from them.
Yeah. You
Which
usually don't. Honestly, like usually at the reunions, it's time for the drama, is what it is. It's time to talk about the drama. So the married couples just get their quick little moment, and then they do the pictures of how they've spent their year in their last life. And then they're like, okay, now you and text messages. And then they just move on. It's always a quick thing.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah. The dad made me laugh though.
Where
he's like, hey, Netflix, all that money I saved for her wedding, like, thanks. That cracked me up.
That cracked me up too.
Because I've thought about that before too. Like, because some people would be like, why would you? Like, why wouldn't you just like, okay, you're in love, it's great. Just keep dating and make sure.
Yeah.
It's a free freaking wedding. Like, if you really do know this is your person, go for it. Go for it. Get that free wedding. Like, why not?
Right. Exactly. I mean, they saved a ton of money. I wonder if they have to like limit their guests or anything like that, or if there are any stipulations.
Oh, I'm sure, because I mean they only have such a seating amount,
Right.
But they do get like a reception and everything too.
Right.
And, like,
yeah, we did see clips of that.
They didn't used to really highlight that at all either. Like in the early seasons, I remember wondering that a lot. I'm like, do they get a reception? Or is it just for show and then they got to go like throw their own thing later kind of thing? But they've since like shown clips and stuff of other people's receptions. I'm like, okay, good.
Sure.
Because, if you're getting married, you should get the whole experience. So
right. Exactly. Okay, let's talk about Leo and Brittany. She looked great. I thought she looked fantastic. What? That's the only thing I could think of is she looked fantastic. Leo is Leo.
I like him a lot more than I did. But it's also, I think, mostly because it's not just someone that's like, yeah, I made mistakes and I'm trying to be better now, but more of like, he seems to have some true self-awareness. Like, I watch myself and, oh, dear God, and I am changing my ways. Like, it seemed like it was a big eye-opener for him, like actually watching himself live those moments. Like, oh, wow. Like, I think he learned a lot. I think he learned a lot and has grown from that. And I'm like, good for you, man. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's really great.
Yeah. It's cute that him and Brittany are still like friends. It
sounds like they're like best friends. It sounds like
they have a really good friendship. So that's good.
I saw a TikTok the other day where it was like the two of them were just like out for coffee, and he like snatched her drink and took a sip or something, and she's like grabbing after it, and that was the whole thing that they talked about or whatever. But it was just a cute little video, and I'm like, that's awesome that they're like buddies. And
yeah, that's cute. They got something out of it, so that's good. But.
And I also kind of wonder, because when she was talking about their their reveal, because we all know how awkward and cringe that was.
Yes.
And how she really tried to downplay it, like as if it wasn't so, like, you know, or it was like, oh, this wasn't so bad. And then it got worse. But then she's like, I wish you would just give me more. So I should, like, she tried to put a lot of blame on herself.
She did, yeah.
And I actually, now looking back, I wonder if she was just kind of trying to protect him a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Like now that they're friends, you know?
Right,
like,
right.
Because I think
it
a lot of us.
It was me.
Right, like, because I think a lot of us viewed that as like, oh, she was not into him, and that's why it was so awkward. And so I think she could be protecting him a little bit,
yeah,
now, which is cute. So like that's really sweet and nice. And so
right. Just, you know, shows their friendship too.
Yeah,
potentially, if that's what is going on, which I could see.
Yeah,
I could see it being truthful, and I could see it being she's protecting him. Either one. Yeah. Who do you want to go to next? Monica and Steven?
Sure. I didn't expect anything less.
They didn't really talk much, or at least Monica didn't talk much. I mean, she said like a little bit. They didn't really ask her anything much.
No.
She said like one little thing. Steven talked more. He had a weird joke at a weird time.
Yeah.
And then Vanessa was like, we'll get to you. Like I don't know. He seemed really kind of immature to me.
That's what I was about to say. I'm like, I think we're really seeing his immature side.
Yeah. And like he was positioned really weird during the reunion too. Like he seemed really like every time he would answer a question, he was kind of like, he'd have to like turn backwards to like answer. I don't know. It just seemed very strange to me. And then his weird jokes. And then he was like, I don't really remember what was on the text. I deleted them. I don't remember them. They were pretty scandalous. They were pretty juicy. And we talked about this and this. And I was like, which one was it? You don't remember? Right. Or
the way he joked that gave me the ick.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, they're pretty scandalous or whatever. It's like, that was ick. That was ick right there. Because he was making light of it. It was not something to make light of. Like, you've basically cheated on your fiance. That's not something to make light of, dude. Like, that's not appropriate.
Yeah. And I felt like that's how he treated the whole thing. The whole reunion thing was like, this is a joke. Yep. I'm here. You got me here. I'm here. Yep. I got some text messages. They're pretty juicy.
Like, I had a lot more respect for him in the moment they broke up, because like we've talked about it last time, where it was like, look, I screwed up and I know it and I'm so sorry. I'm gonna leave you alone now. And you know, the way he gave her space, like I actually really respected how he behaved in that moment. Yeah. And I did not respect how he acted in the reunion, because it was so opposite. It was so night and day. Yeah. Like, and I don't know, maybe it's because she's like talked about it since. Maybe he didn't like some of the things that were said. Maybe he doesn't feel so sorry for her. I don't know. Right. It just seemed a lot more, I don't know,
just childish and just
like, and he could have shown her a lot more. He could have shown her more respect at the reunion by not treating it in that manner, you know?
Right. And it could have been like a defense mechanism for him. Who knows? It just came off as inappropriate and not the correct way to act in that situation.
I agree. But I was glad though to kind of hear Monica like clear up kind of that conversation in the pods though about it, because that was another thing we talked about. Yeah, was the fact that it was like, he's done this before and she was with him anyways. And you know, we talked about their conversation, because you had mentioned how it was like, you know, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry you went through that kind of thing. And it's like,
right, to me it was a red flag.
So to hear her kind of explain, you know, what that more of what that, because I even said, I'm like, we're not hearing a lot of stuff though. I'm like, we're not hearing all the details. And that's pretty much what she said. Was like, we didn't get to hear the whole conversation. And so yeah, she got to be told a lot more than what we got to hear. So for her, she really thought it would never ever happen again.
Right. She saw it more of a
he really sold it. Like, he really sold himself to her in that sense of like, where she believed it.
Right. And she said too, we got more insight into her past of that she had dated cheaters before, and it was entirely different situation. And
nobody was that transparent about it. And so she kind of respected that. He was honest and
Yeah. So it made more
Made more
sense.
sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something I was questioning. So I was glad we
Mhm.
got that cleared up at least.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I'm trying to think. Which way should we go with this? Let's go Tyler. Let's go Tyler.
We're just gonna save Hannah and Nick for the end again because we're gonna have so much to say.
Yep. Let's go Tyler and Ashley.
If the story they're portraying is the actual truth, I can see why she would still be there. However, there is a question that still was not addressed, which was the twins' conception, because that still changes the story. If that was natural conception, that is not sperm baby. That's deadbeat.
Yeah. So recap what they said.
So basically, Ashley portrayed it as if she knew everything in full detail before they talked about it on the show.
Yep.
And basically, in order for them to be truly authentic, they had to stage a conversation.
Correct. And so according to Ashley, what we saw was them staging that conversation.
Right.
In order to be authentic. And
I was like, in this staging, she apparently asks a question that set him up to give an answer as a lie, which then made everybody believe it. Like, I don't believe them. I don't believe them because that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Why would you ask him so you don't know what they look like? Why would you lie and say, I don't think so?
Yeah.
If she knows the whole truth, why are you having those questions and those answers?
Right. Why are you asking questions so that he will lie?
Right. That's why I'm like, I don't think I believe this. I actually think that she was a bit blindsided about some facts, and I think she's embarrassed, and I think she's saving face.
Yep. That's what I think so too. I think so too. And I think they were like, well, how do we answer these questions from all these people online?
Yep. And I could honestly even see her being like, listen, you did me freaking dirty. Here's the story, and here's the story we're sticking to, because I'm not going to let you embarrass me like this in front of the whole world.
Yeah. I could.
You're going to go along with that I knew everything and blah, blah, blah. And he'd probably just be like, okay.
Yep. Oh, of course.
Because he would do anything to keep her, right? So and of course, this is all speculation. We know nothing, but it's like, that's what I think, because why would you otherwise stage a conversation where you ask a question like that? And why would he answer it like that?
It makes no sense.
You guys lied, essentially, then. Based on what you're telling us, you lied in this fake conversation.
Yeah. It just makes no sense that in an effort to be authentic, you fabricate an entire story.
Yep.
It makes zero sense. And then the whole converse, or the whole explanation was just them gaslighting us. And she was just kind of rude about it too. And she was like, who do you think would know more about the situation? You people online or us in the situation? I was like, well, the reason that we are speculating about it and have all these questions is because of how you portrayed it to us, because you had to make up this whole conversation. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
And then she's like,
the story you gave us doesn't match the real story. So
right. And like, if you want to protect the children, great, wonderful, commendable, understandable, then just say that. Just say, I have children and I don't want to talk about them. Ashley and I have discussed it offline, or I mean off camera, offline, off camera, and we're not going to talk about it to protect them. End of everything. Not, well, let's fabricate this story. No. Baloney. That did not happen. Like,
yeah, and if she really wanted it aired and whatever that bad, then go out there and do it, but do it with the truth.
Yeah.
And say, when her partner left, I stepped up, blah, 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 blah. Because instead it was, do they know what you look like? I don't think so. That's a lie.
Yeah. Just say, yeah, I stepped up. And
so it's like, well, I knew the truth. Well, then why'd you let him lie on camera? Like, no, it's like, the math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'.
No, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
I think she's just trying to save face.
I think she is too. And it's like very obvious to
And
us, but
and also I don't blame her. I don't
I
blame
don't
her.
blame her
I
either.
mean,
I
if
mean,
you
she's
think about
married.
going through that situation, marrying someone, and you find out like the actual truth of it all, and then internet is eating you alive, telling you to leave
Yeah,
this guy you love and just all the things. Like I feel bad for her. I can't imagine everything she's
I
been going
do
through. And I think that's why she came
too.
on so defensive and everything
Right,
too. But,
right.
I
I
wouldn't blame her
agree.
for trying to.
And not only that, it's not like they just got married. She's been married for a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And now all this is coming out. Like they've had all these memories, honeymoon, a whole year of marriage.
Ooh, I just thought of something too. I saw something the other day that her dad didn't even know about it until it all came out recently, kind of thing. So it's
Whoa.
like,
Well,
yeah,
that's why we didn't get to see meeting her parents then,
we
because we
saw
didn't
we
know
saw the
about it.
dad. We saw the dad. You keep forgetting this scene. He met her dad. That's the scene you keep forgetting. He's
Wait, so he
bald.
didn't know about the dad didn't know. Oh yeah, I do remember the dad. I know
Yeah,
exactly the dad. Yes,
yeah,
I like the dad actually.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
remember the
he
dad. So
he
wait, the dad
apparently
didn't know
said
about the
something
kids?
recently that he didn't know about the whole Tyler and the kids and the whole thing
Oh, the
until it
kids.
like.
I thought you meant when you said he didn't know about I thought you meant the dad didn't know about the whole, like, wedding,
Oh,
about
no,
his
no, no. He didn't know about the whole thing with just Tyler and the kids and the whole thing until like now.
tell so
I
that
saw something about that on TikTok the other day. I'm like, if that's the case too, then that's really just showing like you're just trying to like brush everything under the rug and move on.
yeah, yeah, like, if her own dad didn't know, then I don't think she knew either.
Yeah, I
Like, why
agree.
wouldn't I don't know.
I don't know either.
It doesn't make any sense.
The
What
math
makes
doesn't
sense
math.
is she didn't know, and she's trying to hide it, and they're both trying to hide it, and they're
Mm-hmm.
saving face and whatever. Like,
Yep.
she's not gonna divorce him. They're married. They've been married for a year. They're building their lives together. They're not gonna get divorced. I wish them
Not
well.
yet.
Right. I wish them well. Maybe one day she'll come out and be like, "Yeah, we lied. We know you are lying." That's what
Right.
I'm gonna say.
It
That's
just
my
does
final
not
word on
add
the whole
up.
situation is,
Yeah.
"We know you're lying."
Yeah. It doesn't add up. Doesn't add up.
It doesn't. It doesn't. 1 + 1 is 2, not 7, so
Not
we
the
know
number
you're
of kids you
lying. Exactly,
have.
exactly, right? Okay. Ramses and Marissa?
I am proud of her mother for behaving.
She did good. She did
She did
good.
good. I think it's
She
probably
did
because she was
good.
in a room of full of people and
Yeah,
really felt like she was on TV versus just
yeah.
in a
She
restaurant
had
with a camera
some
on her.
she had some real good facial expressions, though.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One thing I did notice was first of all, when she first went to just talk about watching the breakup again, all of our hearts broke all over again. Just the
Yes.
second she got choked up about it, and
Mhm.
and I did notice like when when that happened, when she first starts crying, it pans over to him, and it almost looked he was glistening up too. Like
Sure.
I do think he genuinely feels bad for hurting her.
Oh, I
I
think so
do.
too. I
Yeah.
think so too.
Yep.
But I think he just I think she loved him so much more than he
Yeah.
loved her.
I agree.
And that's extremely painful
Hmm.
when you love somebody more than they love you, and,
Yeah.
you
Like
you break up.
yeah, it was definitely different versus some of these other couples where you could just tell it was like, okay, they just weren't into it, but they were dragging it out and then they broke up. Like
Mhm.
they had genuine feelings for each other. It's
Yep.
just, but I'll tell you that his explanation just, someone with ADHD who's not neurodivergent and all the things and has had people leave their life because you're too
Too
much.
much.
Like it's hard to watch because it's
It's
like I've
really
been
tough.
there
Mhm.
multiple times.
Right. And as the other person, not the ADHD too much person. I just want to scream and be like, you are not too much. There are
Right.
people out there that love
Yes.
you
Yes. And I love that Nick
for,
said something for that.
yes,
Yeah.
me too.
Yep.
There's a fly too that loves.
Oh, no, I loved when
But
Nick
that's
said something too, because it
exactly me
was,
too. And he's so right because
yes.
it's so true. He is just not that guy. As much as she wants him to be
Mm-hmm.
that guy for her, he's just not it.
Mm-hmm.
There are people out there in the world and she just hasn't found them yet.
Yeah.
You hadn't found me yet.
Yeah.
There are just people out there that
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that are there for you, that are going to be your person. And
Yes.
sometimes it takes a long time to find them and sometimes you find them right away in life.
Mm-hmm.
They're there though. They're there though.
Yeah.
Whoever you are out there, if you're watching, you are
Yes.
not too much.
You're not too
No
much.
matter
You deserve love
no
too.
matter what.
Like, your
Yeah,
person's out there. Your friends are
exactly.
out there. Like, they are out there. It took me
Exactly.
almost 36 some years to find a best friend that doesn't find me to be too much, that doesn't find my
Yeah.
laugh annoying, that doesn't think I'm too loud, that doesn't get mad when I interrupt her. Like, it took a long time to find someone that accepts that for as it is. And same with my spouse. Like, it took time to find that person, but they
Yeah.
are out there and they'll love
They're
you for
out
who you
there.
are, and you won't have to change with them.
Exactly. 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 And that is the same thing for Marissa.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I
So you're
wish they
not too
would.
much, people. You're not too much.
Exactly. You're not too much ever.
Yeah.
They're out there. I'm glad he cut his dingle dangles.
When was the other hair? Was that just sometime in the last year?
It must have been. It must have been. So what we're talking about is there was a picture that Kelly and I both saw on TikTok, and he has really
And
long
they were
hair, like
shaved.
probably longer than my hair. And then yeah, the sides are shaved, but his like main hair is really long.
Mm-hmm.
But for the reunion, it was short again, but no dingle dangles.
Yeah, so I'm like, is that an old picture? Is that something that happened sometime in the last year and then he cut it
Yeah,
again? I don't know. Because the
I don't know.
reunion was recent.
It was, yeah.
Like, yeah. So I don't know. So I'm like, did that happen in the year and then it got cut? I don't know.
I don't know.
Or is that just some old picture that got dug out of somewhere? I don't
Maybe.
know. Could be.
Could be. Could be.
Could be. I don't know. But
I don't know. I'm just glad the dingle dangles are gone because
yeah. Oh, and as for the
wasn't
whole
my style.
there's someone out there for everyone. There was a great example on the show, or on the reunion, which was Zach and Bliss. There is someone for everyone.
Oh, why
that was the couple. You don't know their season.
yeah.
They're the first Love Is Blind baby couple, and they showed their whole wedding and all the I hope you dance thing or whatever.
Uh-huh.
He's a little oddball. He's a little oddball.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay.
there's some neurodivergent there. Like, he's a little quirky,
Okay.
and she loved him for it.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Exactly.
But I don't need to see their wedding again, guys. I don't need to rewatch these weddings. I've already seen them.
I don't know who the heck they are.
And you don't know who they are to care.
I will say I'm glad that they spent less time on the old people this reunion than they did last reunion. So I'm glad about that. They got the picture a little bit. Now just take it completely out Netflix.
Yeah, just
we don't want
take
that.
it out.
If you want to do that Netflix, then do a Where Are They Now?
Yeah.
Special episode.
Mm-hmm.
Don't interfere in my reunion watching of the current season.
Right.
Oh my God, this fly. And like it's always like right in my face. So I'm gonna segue into our last couple. However, I do want to say something.
I'm ready.
Yeah, right.
I'm stretching. I'm getting ready. Got to buckle up again.
Before we go into Nick and Hannah, I do want to say, watching Nick and Hannah, I lost some respect for Marissa.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people have been saying that.
And I didn't expect that.
Yep.
Like I never got like a Mean Girl vibe or like a evil little minion, gonna gang up with you vibe
I think there's a little
from her.
projecting.
And I totally got that. Yes. And I think she is projecting too.
Projecting her own feelings into another relationship.
Yes. So I thought that was interesting since we were still
Mm-hmm.
talking about Marissa, was
Yep.
that I was like, whoa, this is a side I haven't seen of you, and I don't like it at all. Like,
Right.
I really lost respect for her.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Nick and Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
I still hate Hannah. And I don't use the word hate lightly. Like,
yeah.
I cannot stand her. I cannot wait to like never talk about her ever again. Like,
Right.
she is.
I'm just very direct. I'm just very direct. I'm just very direct. I'm just very
No,
blunt. I'm just very
you're
honest. That's who I
mean.
am. No, you're a mean girl, honey.
Yeah. And she's like, I watched the show and like I took everything in and I took this year and grow from it. And she's like, I know exactly how I sounded and I grew from it and I made changes. And it's like, no, you didn't.
No.
She's like, I'm self-aware. I'm just very direct. And like the entire time she didn't apologize. Like she didn't apologize until they were almost done talking with her.
Yeah. Because I was watching for that too because I rewatched everything. And yeah, I did know, like, because I was like, at first I was like making a note, like, she didn't even apologize. And then finally she did. But it was like, yeah, it took till like the end of that part.
Yes. And it was like,
for her to finally let it out.
And it was just like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm direct. It was just kind of like thrown in apology. It wasn't sincere. It was like, oh yeah, I guess I better apologize too.
Right.
She's
but
not.
It was a lot of like, this is who I am. This is who I am kind of thing. Okay, then just, yeah, okay. You're a bitch then.
If you want to own who you are, okay. Like, but no, you are a mean person.
And people
you're
aren't
not direct.
Going to like you.
You're mean.
I will say though, I did find it funny that when Marissa was like kind of sticking up for her at one point, she pretty much agreed she could be a bitch. Like I can't remember how it was worded, but it was just kind of like, yeah, she can be this way, and we've had things from it. Like it was almost like she implied, like, yeah, she's been a bitch to all of us, but
yeah, she's like, yeah, she's mean to me too. She said something to that effect, and it was like, that's not a friend.
No.
Like, you guys may have gone through
have I ever spoken to you in any way? No, you've never spoken to me in any way. That's, you don't disrespect someone you care about. Like,
no, you don't. You don't degrade.
Sounds like that's all she does is disrespect the people she
disrespect people, degrade people, tear them down. Those are all the opposite things that you should be doing to your friends.
Right. And there's one thing she said that, like, I do agree with, and that, well, I agree in a way. Let me rephrase. She said that she does not basically regret her message in a way. Like, yeah,
she stands
what she was trying to convey, she still stands by. Fair. Because Katie said all the same things. She just did it in a nice way.
Right.
And that's like, that just goes to show that you can still have opinions. You can voice those opinions. It's just how you do it.
Right.
Because Katie did. She said that he was immature and she said these things, but she explained it in a way that was very mature and very kind. And so he understood it, and it didn't belittle him. It didn't degrade him as a person or as a man or anything.
Right.
Yeah. And for her, it's the tone, it's the word, it's the
facial expression.
Everything is just awful.
Yeah. She had like a sourpuss nasty face expression like the entire time. I just want to grab that off her face.
Right.
She's just so insecure too, and
I felt like that was a gaslighting thing a bit too.
Yeah.
And a lot of it came from the females too, with the whole grenade thing. That it's like, well, he said all this stuff about her, no wonder she felt insecure. But it's like, when did she find that out, though, that he said that? That wasn't clear to me.
The thing about that, too, is, let's say, because we never found out if he actually said it or not. Let's say he did say it.
His boys pretty much tattled on him. He did.
He said that. in confidence
Mm-hmm.
to his guy friends.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't say it on camera, didn't say while he was mic'd up, said it in confidence. She, on the other hand, any opportunity she got when she was with the girls, talked about his looks, talked about how he was bad in bed, talked
Mm-hmm.
about how he wouldn't go down on her, talked about how he
And now we know
was
probably why.
financially
He wasn't into her.
right. Talked about how he was financially illiterate, how he was lazy, how he all these things while to her friends while she was mic'd, while she was on camera, but it was this huge deal to her that he said it not on camera in confidence.
It was
And
also
didn't
framed as like as if it was an excuse, though. Like,
yes, and
it's
then
okay
she
she
used
treated him like this because it's because she was so insecure because he said this about her.
yeah,
Wait, when did she find that out, though? If it was at the end, then no, that's not an excuse because she didn't know. If it was at the beginning, why'd you stay with him then?
right. And then did you catch too that she was like, "Why did you let me be so mean to you?" I was,
Yeah, it's like
and
all
she
gaslighting
said
crap.
that
It's like, geez.
in like podcast interviews and stuff, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you talking about?
It's like you see too at the end of their relationship where he starts to try to stick up for himself. He starts to
Mm-hmm.
say like, you belittle me a lot, like you're not always nice to me, like he starts
Right,
speaking up about it and she just keeps going. So it's like, what did you expect him to do? What were you
right,
hoping for? What do you mean by
right,
what, like him letting you? Did you
right,
want him to blow up on you and be like and attack you for it? Because that's kind of the only thing he didn't do. He did speak up about it eventually, and he did try to talk to you about it, and you just were shutting down, continuing to belittle. I'm right,
right,
you're wrong, narcissistic nonsense. Like,
right.
so
Mhm.
what more do you expect from him to do
Right,
other than
right,
leave?
right. And I wish that Vanessa and Nick would have pushed her on
Mm-hmm.
this type of stuff too. Like,
Yeah.
but no. And then another issue for her was that she found this private journal entry after they broke up that he had apparently written before the show ever
Mm-hmm.
aired or whatever, before he
Yeah.
got on the show.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I wrote that a long time ago before I even got on the show.
Mm-hmm.
She went through his private journal that he
Yeah.
never intended for anybody to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like
She
that
read his
was such a
diary.
huge invasion of privacy for one. And
Mm-hmm.
then she took a picture of it, shared it with her friends, and like made fun of him for it.
Yep.
Like that was so immature for one. And then she's like, well, he wanted to be famous and like used that again as a justification for why she was so
Mm-hmm.
horrible to him.
That you found that at the end,
She found that after they broke up.
right?
One. Two, who doesn't go on a Netflix show and think that they're going to get some sort of notoriety from it?
Mm-hmm.
Literally everybody. Like, you cannot tell me that Hannah herself did not think, I'm on a Netflix show. I'm going to get some sort of fame from this. Of course, she thought that because
Mm-hmm.
she's making TikToks and videos and stuff
Mm-hmm.
after. Like, of course.
Yeah, I'd like to know, is she working now? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah. And she
Does
was
she have a
unemployed for,
job or is she content creating and making money off of,
right.
like,
She quit her job to be on
yeah.
the show.
Did she get a new job? That's what I want to know.
Everybody else kept their jobs and was working the
Mm-hmm.
entire time,
Mm-hmm.
but it was okay in her justification of treating him like absolute dog crap.
Mm-hmm.
And that was okay because Nick wanted to be the most famous person on Love is Blind.
Yep. But she can make a list of everything she has concerns about for
And
him.
leave it out for him.
They're list makers. Like, like both of them made a list of stuff.
She's
His
just
was
a
before the show.
hypocrite.
Hers was during the show, but he's the bad guy.
Yes.
For his list that he made before he even knew he was going to get on the show. It was a random thought, random whatever. Meanwhile, she's calling him delusional and all these different things and making this big list. And he finds it because it's sitting out. He didn't go digging for it. He didn't snoop. It was just
he
there.
He didn't send it to his friends so that they could all make fun of her for it.
Right. Now, he talked to his friends about it, but why wouldn't you? You just found this. Mm-hmm. Your friends are right there. You could use some advice. You go to them to discuss it. That's different. Like,
yeah, she projects Very much.
She did not like being the bad guy. And so I feel like
No.
all of that
She
was
tried to
just trying to
flip the
put some
script.
she's trying to flip the script, make him look
Yeah.
like the bad guy
Yeah.
because he didn't like how she looked or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
and you did? Because all
Yeah.
you did was talk about his height. You compared that arm span often. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you were cool with his looks either.
No. I don't think so.
Now, is grenade a nice term and all of that? Like, no.
No,
If he
but
really
he
said
didn't
things
say
the
it
way
on
he said, that's not
camera.
cool. And you shouldn't have stayed with
No.
her. And, you know, sure.
Right.
But
if she wanted to save face, she should have came on that reunion and said, I talked really horribly. I'm really sorry, Nick. I should not have treated you that way. Nobody deserves to be talked that way. I'm really sorry.
End of story. Yep.
I would have completely flipped the script on her. People wouldn't have, been probably as mean to her online because I guarantee you she's still getting slayed online with how she acted in that reunion.
Oh, and then she's mentioning the DMs that she's getting from girls when he's messaged them and stuff.
Yeah,
and
who cares?
Like, she just wanted to throw him under the bus in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Who cares if he's DMing girls?
That just made her look jealous.
Right.
Like, they're not together. Like,
okay, he's got a little fame now. People know who he is now. So he's shooting a shot and he's trying to. So what?
Yeah,
that's
he
his
wanted
business.
to fly somebody out for the reunion.
Whether that's
him.
mature or not, or taking advantage of your time on the show or not, whatever. Like clout chase, I don't know, because I think that was the whole point. Was like, oh, you're just using your new fame to try to find girl or whatever. Like, I think that was her point of saying that. Maybe, like,
but
that's his business. That's his business. The show's over. You're not together. That does not make him look bad, honey. That makes you look bad, actually, for bringing it up.
It makes her look jealous, and it makes her look bad.
Yeah.
And he, again, for one, I keep thinking this, but I haven't said it yet. It's so weird to defend a man against a woman. Like, in this day and age, it's so weird to be like, he was right, and he looks so much
especially
better.
in this season.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird.
When you have sperm donors and
yes, liars and cheaters, and then we got him, and we're just like, yep, we're team Nick. So weird.
Progressives that don't want condoms, like, like, given the men of this season, it is odd, but
it is. It's so weird.
Oh my gosh.
But he was like, one of the first things that he said was, she's getting a lot of hate online and she doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, he was trying to like tell everyone to back off of her.
Yeah,
I thought that was great. That was really nice.
Yep.
And that's what triggered her to start popping off too. Like, that's what was weird. Like, they kind of settled this conversation.
Yep.
She kind of gave an apology, and then he tries to, like, she just apologized. He's like, he wants to now tell people, hey, leave her alone. Right. Like, she's a good person. Please leave her alone. Please stop everything you've been doing.
Right.
And in his effort, then she's like, and starts
like, you like hate comments then?
Why are you liking those comments? And just starting that's when it all went off. It's like, Jesus.
Yep.
Christ.
And then Marissa was in her ear being like,
mm-hmm.
I saw somebody call her Gretchen Wieners, and I thought that was so funny. They were like, I never expected Marissa to be the Gretchen Wieners of this season. And I was like, that is hilarious.
Would that make Katie the other one? Because it was like apparently Smith. A trio.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
We didn't really get to know Katie very, very well. Mm-mm. But she seemed nice.
I know. And what? Actually, speaking of, just because I'm thinking of that little group up in the front, I kept waiting for some kind of announcement for like the next Perfect Match season or something. Because that's what they did last time when they had Micah and Izzy. They were part of the whole watching, crew. And they used them as like a segue to promote this other Netflix show, the Perfect Match thing. Remember that? I think AD's on Perfect Match for the next season of it.
Oh.
So I kept waiting for it because she was there. And then I'm like, okay, I guess not. What?
She did say that she's not single. But she said, like, that's all I'm going to say.
But I think I'm pretty sure I saw TikTok saying she was on the next thing. But I don't know. Maybe not.
That's the only person that they showed from the last season that I was like, oh, it's 80. I was like, oh, it's somebody. I was okay with seeing her a little bit.
Right.
A teeny
Right.
tiny bit.
I think that's more because we
Just
like
people
her
from the
though, too.
first season though, like, God, just leave them. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Well,
Especially when
and
they marry somebody who's not on the show. I don't need to
right.
see the
Well, and
wedding.
like for you, like it's easy to say that because you haven't seen those seasons. I have. I agree with you though. Like,
Yeah, right.
When
You
it's
feel
that
like,
far gone, I'm like,
right. It's that if it's that far back,
if anything, you
I
can go
don't
back one
care.
season and
Right. If you feel
like
like you
one
need to go
season. You can go
back,
back one season to give
one
me an
season.
update on if someone's married or not now. Like,
I
fine.
agree.
Fine.
I agree. One season.
But that's
and
it.
then but that's it. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Any other thoughts before we start wrapping this up?
I don't think so.
I don't either. I'm looking forward to next season, which they said is going to come out in February.
Mhm.
So we will, of course, be watching. We will, of course, give you our breakdown and thoughts on that. And it is in my home state of Minnesota, in Minneapolis. So I am very excited about it. I hope that I can like figure out where things are just for the like, oh, I've been there, or
Yeah. I
just the
think it's cool
recognition
anytime to see like
purposes.
your own state or city like
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah. Nothing happens in Minnesota.
Right.
So when something happens in Minnesota, I'm like, oh my God, yay.
Or like, I'm not a big Hallmark Christmas movie person, but they just shot a Hallmark Christmas movie that's like Chiefs theme-ish, whatever. I don't know if you've heard about that. And it was here. Like they shot it here.
They shot it here.
So I'm going to be watching that. Like even though I'm not
I would
Hallmark
too if
Christmas,
I
I'm
were
like, I
you.
want to watch it. I want to see my own city
Yeah.
in a movie. That's cool.
Now watch, you're going to become a Hallmark movie person.
You're going to
be like,
I'm good.
You're going to be
I'm
like,
good.
I love them guys. They're my guilty pleasure.
No. I've seen some
can't see
before
you.
and they're always the same.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any of those TikToks that make fun of that though?
Oh, I can imagine.
It's like every Hallmark Christmas movie, and it'll be like the girl from the big city coming back to her hometown for the holidays, and then she bumps into this guy, and like,
Yep. And they fall in love.
Yep.
And they get married on an ice rink, and yep. All right, guys, we want to know your thoughts on the reunion and this past season of Love is Blind, and if you are going to be watching next season along with us. Otherwise, catch us next time on our regular scheduled programming when we are back to our usual content, which is going to be weird. I was
going to say this will be one episode, basically.
Yeah.
We'll be back to normal for one episode.
So we haven't talked about this, but our next episode is going to be our season 1 finale. And then we're going to take a little winter break and just enjoy time with our family and stuff like that, and not have to worry about recording. Mm-hmm. So our next episode will be the end of season 1. Yeah. It's pretty cool. So we'll give you all the deets on that another time, or in the description, or on a post or something. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Make sure to leave us a comment with your thoughts, and like and subscribe, and we will catch you next time. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Bye.